So, first and foremost, let's focus the camera. Let's focus. Camera, we're focused. Right? Are you focused? I'm focused. Camera needed to catch up. Welcome back to the experience. Today we're going to talk about my Wicca practices, and then I'm going to show you some of my tools, but I can't fit all of my tools in one video, so you'll have to let me know what you'd like to see more of. Thank you. I found myself being drawn to lots of things that I was drawn to as a child. Just in spirituality, general spirituality. I was really interested in learning more about things that I'd always wanted to learn about, and so I started learning about it, and it all led me to Wicca. First to witchcraft. I remember fondly, I was working at a park and I got to ride around and like do tasks around the park. I listened to podcasts, so a lot of them were about nature-based faiths, and so I was very much in search of something because I knew there's very little in my earthly experience that I felt more strongly about than nature, and so I wanted that to become more of a staple in my experience. So I, in a way, wanted to commit and devote myself to nature, but I didn't know how. So I was looking into ways as people like me would do that. Led me to Wicca. Wicca to me represents a way for me to communicate with the universe through the means of nature and introspection, through shadow work, and so far it's been working out really great. And I enjoy it, and it's like a never-ending journey, so that works for me. Now, my focuses as far as my spirituality and Wiccan faith are divination is my main route to correspond with the universe. So that would be my most often utilized. Oh, little dog is laying in my lap right now, but you can't see it. Good boy. I mostly utilize divination, and shadow work is a heavy and important part of my craft. It has gotten me through everything thus far. Another way that I really practice my faith, it's really, I feel like it's not a commonly said or talked about method, but I mean writing, but not in the sense of scribing or manifestation writing. It's me documenting my spiritual journey as a fictional story with fictional characters that all have little pieces of me or others that I know, and putting it into a timeline and a plot that is not a direct correlation of me or my life, but it has pieces of my soul woven into it, like every part of it. And so I find that is like a very amazing tool for not only shadow work, but also just like daily spiritual practice, to just sit and write every day and have that mindset. I feel like I am in like an altered state, like I'm in a spiritual mindset when I'm writing my novels, and I find that to be very beneficial for me overall. And it's a consistent way I can practice my craft that's practical and not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily take a lot of energy out of me. It's like a creative fuel more so than something that would lower my energy battery, so to speak. One of the things I've mostly been interested in lately is astrology, astronomy, and planetary bodies. I've always loved the universe scientifically, and I am always so eager to learn more about that part of where we exist. And so I've been more so recently looking into that, also because of my story, because I wanted to be scientifically accurate while also existing within a fantasy-ish. I'm weary to say that it's fantasy, but it's also not science fiction. It's a blend of the two, and I want it to be scientifically accurate while also, because we don't know. Again, let's revisit. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what any of this is. There's so much of the dark matter and the dark energy that we have no idea. We literally don't know anything. That's all I'm saying. So I'm saying I don't think I know, but that's a possibility because like there's so many possibilities. I'm just trying to make it fit in there in a way where it's like, you know, it could. Like it checks out as far as we know scientifically. Yeah, so I've been very interested in learning about astronomy, more so than astrology. I have of course, I've been very interested in astrology for a long time. I've mostly done the deep dive in the past couple years. I can go into my chart if y'all are interested sometime. I just don't know enough to explain it to you. Like I'm learning. It's like an endless learning process with astrology. What am I trying to say right now? What am I trying to even say right now to you guys? I need to say it because the battery. I was mostly drawn to, in order, Bastet, Persephone, and Medusa. I was very interested in those ladies. And I think they were interested in me. if that's how it works. I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about that. I just love them. Just like hanging out with the energy. I set up offering dishes on my altars for them in my home. I put things in them. So I interact, even if I don't understand the relationship there. So I think that's all that matters. My deity relationships change, and I mostly just focus on the universe as a whole, or source, or what have you. Most of my devotionals or inquiries go towards just the universe in general, and I incorporate deities as energy work, and I see them as kind of like guardian, guiding spirits, or whatever you refer to them as, but it fluctuates a lot. I generally don't focus too much on the deities, actually. But I love them.
Right.
They're great. Love them. I prepared.
Next, you see this blue notebook. I use it to record astronomy notes and facts I'm learning as part of my writing process. And then here you see some examples of my regularly used tarot decks. And then we also have a lapis lazuli scarab beetle crystal. I most often use my Alice in Wonderland tarot deck. Here you see the laptop and AirPods I most often use to write my stories. I then charge them on my altar regularly to keep the energies all aligned and synchronized.
I was a mostly lucid dreamer as a child. I didn't realize that that's what I was experiencing, but all of my dreams felt just as real as life, and some of them were extremely not fun, but I found that I got messages through them. I did have reoccurring lucid dreams where I could manipulate some parts of them, so I feel like that was a way that my intuition or something was kind of active back then. I was very attracted to crystals. Tiger's Eye and pyrite were my first favorites growing up. When I was young, I was very interested in palmistry and astrology. I had some books in my possession. I don't know if I asked for them or if they just appeared. My life has been weird. So I was always looking into that kind of thing. Also dream interpretations, because as I mentioned, I really was an active dreamer. So I was very interested in what those things could represent or mean for me generally. And I oftentimes, like I said, had bad experiences with my lucid dreams. So I actually did not enjoy dreaming most of the time. And I would often wake up with honestly horrible feelings, and just it was hard for me to sleep. I had a lot of sleep problems growing up and in my young adult life because partially of that. I used to see I don't say see, but when I was drawing things like kids draw things, you know, my creepy ass drew little shadow creatures just in the rooms. I'm sorry, Mom. Oh my gosh. Sorry. So it was bad vibes there. It was weird vibes. We found a buried Mary and baby Jesus statue, and then also a little like cherub statue. They were buried in the backyard. I don't want to talk about it. So actually, to build on the fact that my house was utterly horrendously creepy, I was always trying to be outside. So if it was nice enough outside, like I could be outside without wearing like gloves, I was outside, probably riding my bike around the neighborhood or walking around or like going to a nearby park, because I did not prefer to be inside most of the time at all, ever. Even if I was like hanging out with friends, I was trying to be outside. That's where it was at. That's where I was at. Before I lived in the creepy house, I lived in this really beautiful Victorian home, and I once, in what must have been one of my first lucid dreams or a flash of some sort. Honestly, it was, my memories are not very consistent, so it's hard for me to remember a lot of things, but I will get into that someday if you want me to. But my memories are not good. The quality of them, I mean, the quantity of them is not good either. Anyways, in the Victorian house, beautiful house, loved it there. I was only there for maybe a year or so. I had a flash of like being at some kind of like old party. I wasn't me, but I was me. I thought that I'd lived before, far before I knew what a past life even was. So long story short, do believe in past lives and reincarnation to some extent. I don't think that we're only tethered to reincarnate on Earth. I think that would be limiting, because the universe is so vast and it's constantly expanding at a faster rate, fun fact. So like, obviously there has to be a lot going on out there. We have no idea. We're little specks, we don't know anything. So, let's move on. As I started to get older, I would say 7 and up, I started to experience what I now know as claircognizance and also clairsentience. There is a difference. Look them up, or I can talk about it at length if you want me to do that. Clairs are really fun. And so I also was then drawn towards some deities. As I was learning, I loved, mythology growing up, as many of us do. My first favorite mythology was Egyptian, but I also did span out to Greek, and I tried to honestly expand to as many cultures as I could growing up. I just loved learning about pantheons, because I was a little witch. I also would create my own altars without any conscious thought of it. I would just find a table, I'd clear it off, I'd get a candle, literally, and just paper and pen, and I would just write. I would essentially just like scribe. I would just scribe. I was just out here. And I was a little witch. Oh, shout out to Stillco. Let's try to get that focused. Stillco, you need to go check them out. It's someone that me and my girlfriend, I have a girlfriend, follow on YouTube, and just check them out. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks for tuning in again. Tune in next time for more from me. Thanks. That's awkward, but we're gonna keep it. Bye.
I started recording, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so let's go.